Where's the thing? That. Not that. Can't find the thing in the thing. Make this difficult. Discover. Where? Oh, no, no, no. We don't want to do that. I'll just do it this way. Categories. Ain't or fairy. One moment. Hey, Grammy. Okay, let's. Do that in. Let's see. I'm a little early as usual. I'm just double checking. the- Hey, lady, 1241. Streamer is never early or late. Always right on time. Okay. I'm trying to do a bunch of things. Okay, that is good. Hey, Crow Joe. Before we get into tonight's stitch and whatever else we're going to call it the rest of the stream, is Norfair, is Clay Miko around? You don't hear me? Okay, Lady can. Can everyone hear me? Okay. It's on his end. He's having issues. I had to turn the volume up. We're going to wait a few minutes. So far, everything's going the way it's supposed to on my stream, even though I haven't done anything yet. That's okay. It's connected to the Bluetooth speaker in the bathroom. La 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 la. Don't need to know that. No, you're not late. Nothing's really been going on. Okay. Before we get into this, and some of you all kind of had a heads up on this, I have created, not how that should work, no fairy. Yeah. Um, I've implemented some cool interactive things that you all can interact with my stream. I have them kind of disabled for everybody right now, but in a second, I am going to enable them, because if Clay Miko types the thing in, it ain't going to work for her. Oh, thanks for the sub. Thank you. Okay, so I am going to type in something into the chat that you'll be able to type in when I enable it. She got ads and was not happy. Wah, wah, wah. I'm going to move to my... Okay, how am I going to explain this? So we got some interactive commands that you all can type in. And some of these you're going to have to remember. They're real easy to remember. So anytime that I'm having an issue with the crocheting, which I don't have the top down going yet, and I have to rip it all out and frog it, I can activate it, or anybody else watching can activate it when I let you. And to do that, you're going to type in exclamation point RIBBIT, ribbit, like a frog. And you should, and when you type that in, it's always exclamation point and the word ribbit. And when you type that in, you should hear this. Hopefully everybody heard that. If not, then I messed up my settings. Okay. The other thing is, and there will be commands that will come in the future. I can add as many commands as I want. I don't want to have too many because it's going to get complicated. And I don't have it. Right now, I'm the only one that can do those commands. The other command is anytime that sad green is mentioned, you type an exclamation point sad green, all one word, and you'll hear this. So I'm now going to enable those. Now y'all don't abuse it. Oh, wait a minute. Did I enable it? Edit? Oh, I didn't click the right thing. Don't abuse it. There's also a cooldown, meaning if somebody types it in, that each command, you got to wait about 5 minutes before it can be typed in again. I don't want just people constantly spamming my stream with commands. I've got a couple other ones already in here. I'm not going to tell you all the commands yet. That will come in the future. So those two. So if I'm working on my project, especially when I was working on the shawl and I had to frog out a row and a half, if I didn't catch it, or you guys can type in that command, laugh at me. For those of you who know the command. And again, anybody here is going to knows those commands. And the same thing if we mention sad green. Frogging counter for the mods would be cool too. Yes, I haven't even figured out how to do the counters yet. I'm relatively new to Twitch and streaming. I figured out how to put the automatic links for my Discord and my YouTube in there. And I'm just now learning how to do these sound commands. So with that being said, after we got that out of the way, we are going to switch over to this. Now, my sample is kind of raggedy looking. It's not the best. Yeah, we've been testing this, and I know what settings I have to do with my software and this and that to get it to work. And so this is called the Shell Trellis Stitch, and it is not the best sample. Maybe if I stretch it out a bit. But you can see we've got these shells, but then each row that there's a shell, this is a row there's shells. The next row, they're alternating, so they're offset. But then we've got these trellis, these chain pieces to make a trellis lacy look. This is a somewhat involved, but it's actually somewhat easy. Well, shouldn't say easy. It's complicated, but they're not difficult stitches to do. So is anybody crocheting along with me tonight for the shell trellis stitch? If not, that's okay. I will still go slow. Again, my sample is not entirely the best. You're not? Okay. Well, I will still go slow in case anybody else is watching. And if anybody is crocheting along with me, and I'm going, as usual, if I'm going too fast, let me know. So, for this stitch, it is a multiple of 12 plus 1, and then an additional 2 chains for the foundation chain. So I am not crocheting along, but definitely watching closely. Looks, yes, this would definitely work for a shawl. I mean, it would be a rectangular one. I guess you can modify it to be, you can somehow decrease it on the edges to do like a triangle shape, but it's definitely shawl material. And again, this stitch is in the Crochet Stitch Dictionary book by Sarah Hazel. I'm not sponsored. So we're going to do a multiple of 12 plus 1. That's the multiple throughout the whole thing, but foundation chain needs an extra 2 stitches. So I'm going to do 36 is my multiple of 12 plus 3 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. That's my multiple of 12. Plus 1, and then 2 more for the turning chain, the foundation chain. Now, this is a 4-row repeat for the pattern. This here is 2 repeats. So there's a lot going into it. To start off, in the 3rd chain from your hook, let me zoom on in. 3rd chain from the hook, you're going to put 2 double crochets. Got 1, and we've got 2. So your 2 turning chains, the 2 chains that you skipped is a turning chain, and then your 2 double crochets. So that is going to form a half of a shell, because those 2 chains that you skipped counts as a double crochet. So there's your half of a chain you start with. You're going to skip 2 chains on your foundation, and in the 3rd chain, you're going to do a single crochet into that 3rd chain. Okay? So again, 3rd from the hook, you do 2 doubles, you skip 2 chains, and in the 3rd, you do a single. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the foundation chain, we're going to skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the sixth one, we're going to do a single crochet. What that has done, it has made what we're going to call, this is the foundation chain. This part here, we refer to these in this pattern as the arch. So we've got half of a shell, we got a single crochet there, then our arch. So that's formed our arch. After we've done our arch, we're going to skip 2 chains. I'm looking at my notes to make certain I'm doing this right. Skip 2 chains, and then in the third chain, from there, in the third chain, you'll do 5 double crochets. That is making a shell. I gotta get on enough slack of my yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to recap, we've got our chain. On the end here, we've got half of a shell, because it's the end. We're going to skip 2 stitches, and in the third, we'll do a single crochet. That's kind of like anchoring the end of the shell. That's kind of how I look at it. We're going to chain 5, and then in our 6th chain from here, we're going to do another anchor, which is a single crochet. We're going to skip 2 chains, and in that third chain is going to be a full shell. So full shell is 5 doubles. That is our pattern until we get to the end. So the pattern will be, what we'll do is we'll skip 2 shells, and be very careful when you're making a shell into the foundation chain. That next chain can be difficult to see. I always look at the bottom edge, and right here is a chain. Sometimes if you put a lot of stitches into the chain next to it, it's going to make it real tight, and you'll miss it. So our next chain, and again, it's kind of blurry because I can't zoom in that far. That's a chain, and that's a chain. So we're going to skip 2 chains, and then the third chain, we're going to do a single. So 1, 2, and then our third, we're going to do our single. Basically, there's a single crochet on either side of our, that might be a little bit better. There's a bit of a glare. There's going to be a single crochet on either side of our shell, but there'll be 2 chains separating the shell and our singles. So they kind of are like bookends. So get our single there. Now we're going to chain 5. And then on our foundation chain, we're going to skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in our 6th one, we're going to do a single crochet. So there we've got our shell cluster, and now we have our arch. So after our single crochet there, we're going to skip 2 chains, and in the third chain, do a shell cluster. Hopefully I'm not confusing everybody. 4 and 5. So there's our shell cluster. But again, remember, before it, we have a single crochet, like a bookend. We're going to make the other bookend. So we're going to skip 2 chains. And again, make certain you don't miss that very first chain that's there. So that's 1, that's 2, and then the third one is here. And you will do a single crochet. So those single crochets are going to frame the shell. And now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the sixth one, do a single crochet. And when you get down here, if your count is right, after you do that single crochet on your foundation chain, you should have 3 chains. So now we're going to skip 2 chains, and in the very last chain, we're going to do 3 double crochets, because on this row, the beginning and the end are half shells. So there was a half shell, and there's the other half shell, just for this row. One, 2, and 3. Clean Miko, if you don't mind. So this is what we have. Again, I had to zoom out because it's a wider piece. We've got a half a chain, half a shell, and remember, there's a single crochet that's like a bookend, and before and after. Well, we're at the edge, so there's only half a shell. So there's a single crochet there. We've got our arch. Then we have one of our single crochets, our shell, and another single crochet. And again, between the singles and the shell, there's 2 chains on each for each of them. And again, arch, shell cluster, arch. And now down here, we have our half of our shell. So that is our first row. Again, this is a 4-row repeat. So that was row 1. Row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do a single crochet into the top of the very first stitch. So right where we did that, remember we did 3 double crochets here? So when we turn, the very last double crochet we did, in the top of there, we're doing a single crochet. Now, my eyes went to a different row. Okay. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in the next arch space, in the space, we're going to do a single crochet. Okay. So we just basically, we chained 1 and did a single crochet into the very first stitch, chain 5, and then a single into and around that arch space that we came to. So it's going to form these holes. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, whoops, yarn split. So we're chaining 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we find the first shell, and we find the middle stitch. Because remember, our shell is made up of 5 doubles. So it's the third one, which is the tallest one in the middle. And then the top of that, we do a single crochet. We have just made 2 more arches. That is basically the repeat. So now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come to our arch. Do a single crochet into the arch to anchor it to the arch. And now we're going to do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to anchor it to the top of the shell. So we're going to find the middle stitch. And we're doing a single crochet. So in top of the middle stitch there, do a single. And again, we just made 2 more arches. It's anchored to the top of the shell. This one is anchored into the top of the arch. This one's at the top of the shell. So this row, it's anchoring to the arch, to the shell, to the arch, to the shell. And then there are always 5 chains for each arch. Now we're going to chain 5 again. 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got an arch, and we're going to single crochet to anchor it there. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're at the end here. What we're going to end up doing, oops. Let me do those 5 chains again. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops. Yarn keeps splitting. 4, 5. And then we go to the edge here, and at the very top of that edge stitch, because remember, this is our half of a shell, so it's the third one over, which is basically the very top there. You're going to do a single crochet into that stitch to anchor it. So all we did on that row is we made our arches, either anchored to the arch below, or if below it is a shell, to the top of the shell. That row is pretty easy. Row 3, no. Yeah, row 3, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and turn our work. So we got our 5 chains. And now in the top of this arch here, we're going to do a single crochet and anchor it. So that's made basically like a half of an arch here, because it's at the edge. So we've anchored it. And now we're going to do, if we look here, there was a single crochet here for when we anchored it to the arch. In that single crochet, we're going to do 5 doubles, and that will make a shell. Because the row below, it's actually 2 rows below, because the row below was just arches. But our first row we had a shell here. Well, they're offset, so they're not in line with it. They'll be offset. So into that single crochet that's here, we're going to do 5 doubles to make a shell. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for anybody. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all we did is we chained up 5, did a single crochet onto that arch to anchor it, and then in the next single crochet, which was the anchor for the previous row, we're doing 5 doubles to create a shell. In the next arch, we're going to do a single crochet right into here, and that's the repeat. So now we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we are going, let me double check this. The perfect speed for me, magic knotting all my scrap into a large ball. I'm not ready to do something like that. Yep, I've done the scrap into a large ball before. I've got a Frankenball somewhere around here. So we've chained 5, and then into the arch here, we're going to do a single crochet. And now, from the row below, there's a single crochet here. We're going to put 5 doubles, and that will form a shell. Because there's a shell here. Oh, well, that's what I refer to it as, because it's just scraps all together. And my Frankenball, it's all types of yarn, all different colors, all different fiber content, different sizes. It's a mess. It's somebody who is strictly on gauge, it's a nightmare for them. I don't care about that. So again, into this single crochet that's right here, we're going to do a fan, or a shell, I should say. So we're going to do 5 double crochets into that stitch. Because again, it's offset, because there's a shell here and a shell here. So on this row in between will be a shell. I don't think I do all sorts of sizes but fibers. I think I do also but fibers. Yeah, I don't care too much as long as it's worsted. Yeah, mine is for this ongoing granny square blanket project that I've been doing for like 20 years. I just keep adding to it. I haven't added to it in a while. And I'm the only one that's going to see it and use it. And if other people see it and use and look at it and they have an issue with it, then they shouldn't be looking at my project. Okay, that's 4 and 5. That creates the shell. So either side of the row with the shells below are here, and it's, see how it's offset. It's not in line. So now what we're going to do, and I always got to refer back to my pattern, because making my sample, I was like, okay, now wait, what do I do? So now in the next arch, there's an arch here, we're going to do a single to anchor it. Now we're going to chain 5, right? I think we're going to chain 5. I always got to double check. Yes. Chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in the next arch, we're going to do a single to anchor it. Yeah, that's right. And then in the next single crochet, that's right here, we're going to do 5 doubles. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully I won't have to frog any of this. Why is that? Okay. Having a little issue over there. So we have this, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do a thank you. I was hoping somebody was going to pick up on that. Thank you, Crochet. So we're going to do a single crochet into that arch, and now we're at the end. We got to do this, figure out how to do this end. When you get to the end of this row, you're going to chain 2, because normally you would chain 5, but we're chaining 2. And in the top of this single crochet that's right here, we're going to do a double, because that double will count as 3 chains, and then these 2 chains here will count as 5, because all these other ones had 5 chains. So there's 2 there, and now we're going to do a double in the top of that single crochet that's on that end, and that will finish row 3. We have 2 more rows. I said it was a 4-row repeat, but you don't repeat the very first row, because it's going into the chains. It's different. So now we're going to go to row 4. Row 4 is we chain 1 and turn into that double crochet that we just made. The top of that stitch, we're doing a single crochet. And now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now a single crochet into the top of our shell to anchor it in there. We've made our arch, and we've anchored to the top of the shell. Chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we have an arch, and in the arch we'll go a single crochet. And that's our repeat. So now what we're going to end up doing is we're going to chain 5, 2, 4, 5, do a single into the top of our shell. This row is easy because it's basically into a shell, into an arch, into a shell, into an arch. You're making arches this row, basically. You made your arch, made an arch, made an arch. Every other row, you're making arches. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have an arch here. We're going to do a single into that arch. And now chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do a single into the top of this shell, which is the third stitch of the shell. And I wish my camera had a better zoom, because I know some of this can be a little blurry. And when we get to the end here, oh, the end's easy. The end of this one's easy. So we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're just going to do a single into this arch, even though it's a weird shaped arch because it goes around the corner. When we do that single, it's going to square off. It's going to be right where we need it. So that's row 4. Row 4 was an easy row. Now row 5, which is our last row of the repeat. And again, if this is really difficult, there's obviously written instructions in the book, and I will upload this to YouTube, and you can always slow down, rewatch the stream, and slow down the speed. And also there might be written patterns elsewhere online for this. Again, it's called the shell trellis stitch. So our last row, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn. And this stitch we have right here that we just did, we're going to do 2 double crochets in it. What we're building is half of a shell. Those chains we made form a double crochet, act as a double crochet. And into this single crochet from the previous row, we're going to do 2 doubles. 1 and, whoops, come on, 2. Now, immediately into this arch, because that's essentially our shell. And at the end of the shell, we do a single crochet to anchor it. And now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the top of this arch, we're going to do a single crochet to anchor that. And then chain 5, crochet. Okay. So now into the next single crochet that we get to, it's in between these arches. We're going to do 5 doubles, which will create a shell. And that will be in line with the one from the very first row here. They'll be in line, but they're opposite from the previous row with shells. So think of it as a diamond. You got 1 here, 2 here, they're opposite, and then back together, like a checkerboard almost, kind of. And you do 5 in there because the shells of this is just 5 doubles. It's 2, 3, 4, and number 5. And now we need to anchor our shell. So in the very next arch, we're going to do a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this arch, we're going to do a single crochet. Yeah, I did that right. And now into the next single crochet that's here from where these arches meet, we're going to do a shell. So it's 5 doubles. Oopsies. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The next arch gets a single, because after you do a shell, you need a single to basically anchor that down to the work, because if not, it'll be kind of unconnected. And now we're going to chain 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Anchor it to the next arch. And then we're going to make a half a shell at the end. So on the top of this single crochet that's here at the edge, you're going to do 3 double crochets. Because a half of a shell is 3 doubles. And that's the repeat. My yarn is probably not the best yarn I used. It's my scrap yarn. But that is the repeat, I think. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So to repeat, you're going to do rows 2, which is the rows that we were doing the making all arches. Because this row we were doing shell, arch, shell, arch, shell, arch. And then the next row will be all arches. It's connecting an arch to an arch, and then an arch to a shell, an arch to an arch, and so on. And then the next row will be just like this one here, where you do shell, then make an arch and a shell. If that makes sense. I think it might look a little bit better in the white than it does in my blue sample. Well, no, they're both pretty decent. So hopefully you kind of wrapped your head around it. I had to do it a couple different times. Like, well, that's not right. So it's complicated and involved, but the stitches are pretty easy. It's just how you do what stitch where. Okay, so if Crojo is still here, whoopsies, you don't want to see that. Oh, we don't need to see that right now. Are we ready for the meme? If Crojo is still here, the meme of the stream. Okay, take your time. Looks doable, might work with Lion Heartland. Yes, it probably would work with Heartland. Okay, I'm just checking one thing. You made one? Oh, God, here we go. Okay. Meme of the stream. Wait a minute. Bedroom, kitchen, bath, crochet studio. It says future home floor plan. Pretty much. Yeah. You don't need a bedroom, a kitchen, and a bathroom. Okay, let me move the keyboard out of the way. Hold on. Oh yeah, I'm gonna zoom out. Because I'm getting ready to work on the shawl. This is the transitioning over to the chill part of the stream, and I need to do something real quick. Let's see. I gotta pull up a file. Where's my file? Play Miko, I'm gonna send you something. on Facebook. Let's see here. Okay. So now we're going to work on my favorite part of the stream is the shawl. I've got 2, 3, 7, 8. Got 8 repeats. We're going for 15. And I am on the... Is this my second? Yeah, this is the second ball. I had to remember if I had joined. Yeah, this is my second ball. I gotta move my keyboard out of the way because I don't really need that at the moment. So you got that, Clay Miko? So now I gotta remember if I remember how to do this pattern. We don't want to have any issues. Okay, yeah, I remember how to do this pattern. Again, anybody who's new, I can't explain what I'm doing here because I don't have the permission from the pattern writer, but this is the Fluffy Meringue shawl pattern from the Crochet Crowd on YouTube. It's a free pattern. You can go to YouTube, to their YouTube channel and look and search Fluffy Meringue shawl, and there's a video for it, but there's also a free PDF file you can download with all the written instructions. And it's written, it's not diagram, which I know how to read some of the diagrams. I'm not really that good at it, but that's something I'm working on, is how to read a crochet pattern diagram chart. Boo hiss. What? Oh, you do? Oh. I do better with the written word. Now, I take that back. I take that back. Tonight's stitch I was showing, I was getting confused, and there is a diagram on there, and I looked at the diagram, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Do it in secret and send encrypted videos to your top fans directly. No. If somebody's with me in person, I can teach them how to do this. But I'm not making any record of it. He's trying to break the rules, of course. Always breaks the rules. Beavis and Butthead breaking the law. Okay, you know what? Thank you, Clean Miko. I love the aggression and what yarn crafters do and don't like. Yeah. Well, again, it's. Oh, it's loud. Sorry. I'll have to play with the loudness on the command. I think I'm able to control that. Actually, let me do that now before I forget. I think I can do it. I have to go into my sound files. Let's go into here. Yeah. That was at 100%. Well, it goes up to 200. It was at 100. I'm setting that down to 45. There. Your ears, I can type. Bump and paste. Well, blast your ears a bit. Sorry. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go through all of mine and change it down to about 45 or so right now to prevent anybody's ears from... Well, that one's a quiet one, but I might put that at 60 something. Did that. That one's going to go down to about there. Was the frog and the sad green at an acceptable volume? That one's going to go down there. Okay. Again, it all has to do with the original audio file that I get. And how loud they're originally recorded on, and then I can adjust the volume. Yep, sorry about that. But like I was saying, since the pattern, somebody actually came up with the pattern, they really don't have ownership of the actual stitch, because a double crochet is a double crochet, but it's how they're put together and joined and whatever. There is a pattern there, so technically you can copyright that, and I'm assuming this is copyrighted. I just don't want to infringe. Okay, good night, Clean Thank you for helping me with what you did tonight on my stream, getting rid of that graphic designer bot thingy, and then the dun dun dun. So if anybody wants to know that chat command, it's exclamation point DUN DUN DUN. And I think it popped up in the chat when she did that. And it might be difficult to remember all these chat commands, but that's okay. There's no built-in thing that you can pull up and click on it. You kind of have to know the commands. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. I might put the list of my audio chat commands, 2, 3, in the Discord. I think I might end up doing that. So if anybody wanted a list of the current ones, I'll have to update it if I make new ones. Again, I've got about 7 of them so far. I don't want to get too crazy with, I keep messing that. I didn't have to frog anything, I just took a stitch out. That's not frogging. I don't consider taking one stitch out to be frogging. But I don't want to have too many commands. I don't want it to be noise constantly. But I know other streamers have got those, so I was like, okay, you know what? That'd be cool to have some interactive things for everyone. And if anybody has any suggestions for chat command sounds, you can always submit them to me. Probably the best place to do that would be in the Discord, in the suggestion area. But anybody, again, who hasn't tuned in, this is the second one of these I've made in the same yarn. I am just loving this yarn, and I love this pattern. And this is, let me get the label. Move out of the way, Sad Green. I can't even see the word Red Heart on there. It's Red Heart Unforgettable in the color Red Sea. So what is everybody working on? I didn't even ask that earlier. Normally that's, well, no, usually when I switch over to this, I ask what people are working on. If you are working on something. Oh, I know Lady 1241 was making a Frankenball. Yarn storage, yeah. I got to go through all of my yarn and kind of reorganize. It needs definitely needs a reorganization. Oh, I can believe it. I can believe it. I mean, all of mine are caked, so I don't have to cake anything. But I got to come up with a new, not a new system, but rewound about 10 balls of yarn today because cakes take up too much space. Oh, well, yeah, depending on how many cakes you have, I can see that. I just like the cakes because I can stack them and I don't have to worry about things rolling away. I really need to go through and like separate it by textures of yarn. Last skein of corner to corner. Woo! Yeah, I got a lot. Most of it's size 4 medium yarn, but there's some that have a slight texture to them, different than like a regular um, worsted. And I gotta move some things and gotta come up with something for all of my novelty yarn. I got some of it in one section, but I need a better area to store it. Time to do corner for another blanket when I'm done with this one, but I want to start a sweater. I've done some very nice, I have some very nice olive yarn. Ooh, is it olive, like sad green olive? It's a long joke in this chat. Thank you. Um, yeah. No, Grammy's the corner to corner she's working on is really nice, really pretty. And Crojo Mojo, I think is working on one or or was working on one. I don't know if she's finished. It's a light green, like right in the middle of the two. Oh, like one of these here. Okay. In the middle of the two center skeins. Okay, yeah, that's pretty. Oh, it's still a whip. Okay. No, the color she was doing. Oh my god, it was amazing. I love the bright, vibrant colors of the yarn that she had. I frogged out a stitch and a half, so I don't know if that's considered frogging. It's a really nice grain of 2 pounds of it and two massive skeins. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. But you said a sweater? Are you crocheting or knitting? I've never made a sweater before. Nice and cheap on Black Friday. I'm thinking about knitting. Oh, nice. Well, if you wanted, um, I have a Discord, and there's a place for people to post their whips and foes and anything they're working on. It doesn't have to be yarn art. It could be anything creative or whatever. It could even be food. I even briefly consulted my friend and her cousin who crochet and knit. They both told me that knitting is probably better. Okay. Well, it depends, I guess, how you want it to look. Yeah, I'm not brave enough to attempt a sweater yet. Okay. Um, it should be on the about page, and periodically it'll come up in the chat. I'm assuming it's still the link will still work. Or you know what? This is what I can do. I will I'll pop it in here right now. There we go. That's the link. It still does not work. It was probably set over time limit and expired. Okay. Well, the one I just posted is I just pulled it directly from um Discord. Oh, I see that you joined. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to go back and update it. I That's a pain that the links expire. Again, I'm kind of new to all of this streaming and all these widgets and what's its. And it's right now it's just a small Discord. There aren't that many of us there, but people have posted some things. Get a link that doesn't expire. You just got to make sure you request a link. Okay. I'll have to figure that out. I'll do that off stream at some point. It took me forever to figure out how to do those audio chat commands. Actually, you know what? That's what we're going to do right now. I am going to. Oh, it's already copied. I am going to go into the Discord. See if this will work. Oh, that's not the link. I copied the wrong thing. Copy that. There we go. I just posted in the Discord in the announcement section the list of the chat commands. About one. That's not a frog. That's not a frog. More of a tadpole. It's not a frog. I need to come up with and somehow make it. I don't know how I'm going to make it. Excuse me, an audio little thing that'll play anytime I switch over and we do the meme of the stream. I need a little sound, but still working on that. Norfairy still here? Oh, we're good. Oh, hey there, Platinum Express. I don't know why that notification for the raid didn't make a noise, but anyway. Hey, welcome Platinum Express and the Raiders. How are you? How was your stream, Platinum? Oh, it's Empress, not Express. Sorry. How was your stream, Platinum Empress? What were you streaming? Hello. It was good, thank you. Started working on a Cyndaquil Pokemon plush. I'm not certain what that looks like. I mean, I know what Pokemon are, but that sounds cool. I'm not a Pokemon person, but I can appreciate the art and the time and everything that goes into making. I've never done um anything in the amigurumi world. I am working on the Fluffy Meringue shawl by the Crochet Crowd from YouTube. There's a video. He's got a video and a free downloadable pattern there. This is the second one that I'm doing in the exact same yarn, and I'm using Red Heart Unforgettable in Red Sea. I love this yarn. It's like a roving type yarn. But no, that was good that you had a good stream. Not the best at amigurumi, but they're nice to eat up the scrap ends. As stuffing, yep. That is true that I can see how that's a good way to put little tiny pieces in there for the stuffing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a 4-row repeat. I made one already identical to this, and that is going to be for my aunt. This one is going to be for my mother. and I got it as a really good price. Ollie's, if you're in North America and if you have an Ollie's, you've probably heard that they have, I don't know if it's still going on. It was a whole big yarn buyout, liquidation, or whatever. And I got 12 of these, each for like $3. So I got a really good deal on this stuff. But we're a pretty chill channel here. Sometimes we get a little rowdy, but nothing too bad. It's awesome. Currently I'm using Stash, trying to control the volume. Only exceptions are gifts where I need specific color. Oh, I understand that. I definitely know how it is to have a volume of yarn. Years ago, I used to work for Michael's Arts and Crafts, and I got some really good deals. Not mastered self control. Well, it's not that bad of a habit to have. There could be worse things. I try to lay it out so you can see more of it. Same. The only reason I don't go where there is temptation for as least a little as possible. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see more of the overall pattern of what this is looking like. You will end up like with me who can't, oh, building my yarn stash, but it's not nearly as large as my quilting stash. And lady says you'll end up like me who can't figure out how to re-roll her 16-ounce skeins of yarn. Yeah, that's a lot of yarn. And you said you had 2 pounds of that um one color. Okay, I'm nearing the midway point of this row. So far, so good on this pattern. I haven't had any issues like I did the previous shawl. Yeah, it could be a mess. Like the skein needs re-rolling real bad. It was bought that way. I do like it. break into smaller amounts. I don't. Well, you could do that. You could make it into smaller balls or. I don't think I have any skeins that are a pound. I might. No, I think all my. I think the largest ones I have are probably 8 ounces, 8 or 9 ounce. Okay, taking out Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo. I think that is a pound. Is Red Heart is a Red Heart or Lion Brand that's Pound of Love? Anyway, I know Karen's is 1 pound. I'm not certain. I can't keep track of it all. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think their Jumbo Super Saver is a pound. That makes sense because their regular Super Savers are about 7 or 8 ounces, depending on the if it's an ombre or a solid. I think the ombres tend to be 7 ounces. I think I could be wrong on that. Okay, I had to take out 2 chains, so that's not frogging. There we go. I still need to set up and figure out how to add music to my stream. Not real certain, but that'll probably be the next thing that gets added. There, and our last stitch for that row, and that row is done, and now I can do the next row. Yep. Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo is only 14 ounce, but since I've tried Hirschner's Worsted and Premier brand, I'll probably stay away from Red Heart. Yeah, I mean Red Heart has its place, but Premier and Hirschner's Worsted 8 is a little bit nicer quality. Again, nothing wrong with Red Heart. Red Heart was wonderful when I was in college, needed yarn, and the only store nearby was Walmart. Yep. Anybody who wants to do it can play the command, because I gotta get rid of basically everything I did tonight on stream because I need another chain space right there and I can't fudge it. Both do not split nearly as much as Red Heart, and thickness of Red Heart seems to be more consistent than Red Heart. Yep. So I gotta do a lot of frogging. I gotta go all the way back to here because I missed some chains. Dang it. Oh, she beat you to it, Grammy. Grammy, even though it's not green, you could do the sad green one. You haven't done a command yet tonight. Because this is sad. Oh, that's getting all. Yeah. Okay, and this is the part of the yarn that kind of got a little weird. And, oh, that ripped. Okay, not ripped, but it frayed. But that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You would think I would learn how to do this pattern. This is the second shawl I've made. It's the exact same pattern, the exact same yarn. Oh, that piece of the yarn was kind of all really frayed, nasty. Once again, some folks have better multitasking skill. Ain't that the truth? I do well when I'm teaching a stitch. I don't do well with a mindless thing that I've done over and over and over and over. Okay. This is where I have to start from, I think. Yeah, it was purple. Okay. Okay, it's not that much to frog. We're good. We're good. We're good. I don't know if I don't know what it's called. Okay. Well, we're going to pretend we didn't do any of that stitching with this yarn tonight. Okay. Remember to do the right amount of chains. Did that. Do this thingy. I know what it was. I just want you all to test out the chat command. That's why I did it. I messed up on purpose. We'll go with that. It's called content. I need content for my stream. Get all of my extra over there. Yeah. Fills up time. So that's what it was. After I do this one stitch, I'm supposed to do chains, and I went right into a double crochet. I didn't do the chain thing. Got a song stuck in my head and I hate that. And I can't sing it. I can't sing because I can't sing. And also I can't sing because we're on Twitch. But I don't think DMC is gonna go after your voice, but you'll yeah, true, but I think I have heard of it picking it up and flagging it. Just people singing. If you can sing, I think the rules are you can sing if it's your own content, like original content. Because I know people play music on here that's their own composition, but you can't do like you can't do a cover or you can't sing something a cappella that's um someone else's work, which I think is kind of stupid. No, I'm sick. I got So what's the name of the song so we can all have the same? Well, Grammy, I played it for you earlier. It's Radiohead's "Creep" from the '90s. That's why I'll get ADHD. I stim sometimes by just singing a verse. Yeah, I don't have ADHD, but I'll do that. But technically, Twitch doesn't like that. But yeah, it's "Creep" by Radiohead, and it's yeah. Yeah, the one I was telling you about earlier today. For those of you who don't know, the lyric goes, and I'm not going to sing it, I'll say it. It goes, "I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What am I really doing here?" That's the verse, or the chorus. Well, I have a friend, it's a long story, but my one friend kind of rewrote the words because my one friend thought they were saying crepe, as in the French pancake. And he was singing it, "I'm a crepe. I'm a waffle. Ain't no pancakes here." So if you know the song, wait a minute, hold on. Did I screw up even more? Wait, go into there, go. Oh, no, 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 we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Do the little weird thingamabob. Don't like. I like, but it's a pain. There's this one part of this pattern that it's not a common stitch, a combination of stitches. I'm not always thinking about it the right way. But I think we're good. You headed off of here, may or may not join on Saturday, having friends over, and don't know how long they're staying. Okay, catch you later, Crojo. Do that one stitch. There we go. Okay, I'm coming to the end of that because that's where that strand broke, which is fine because it was kind of fraying. I'm going to do a weaver's knot. Join the two. There we go. All joined up. We're almost to the end of this row. The one I had to completely redo. Go into that. Come on. Do this row again. There. That here, there, three, there. I think when I get to the end of this row, I think we're going to call it an evening, but we got a ways to go. Not even halfway done this row. Because it's been an hour and 45 minutes. Please. That's, I only need 3, not 4. Get near the end to the question is how many more times are you going to do that row? Hopefully, just this time. Because I'm not talking while doing this, and if I am, I'm counting out the stitches ever so quietly. Okay, we're at halfway point here. That little thing and this thing. There. Down the other side. And there. Oh, no, didn't finish it off the right way. There we go. So far, so good. Yes. Hey, Gold Misfit, how are you? I'm getting ready to end the stream. You're a little late, but that's fine. I understand, and you can't always be there. Uh Long day. Uh, oh wow, 5 a.m. That is early. Okay, I think we're leaving that. I'm gonna double check to make certain I got the right amount of things where I need them. That good. We did that right. I am working on the second one of these. I already made one of these. This is a shawl. It's the fluffy meringue shawl, and this is the second one, the exact same yarn, the exact same color. So I'm gonna end up doing three of them because I really like this yarn and in this pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got a long way to go. So I think that's gonna be it for tonight. Have I thought about selling? I have sold some stuff in the past, like hats and scarves, a while ago. Um, I could look into that, doing that again, but trying to find a place to sell them that isn't a hassle and doesn't have some lot of. There's Etsy, but there are issues with Etsy sometimes, and the percentage they take and whatever. And but trying to find a place a suitable place to sell stuff can be a challenge sometimes. Oh, let me put this to figure out something. Oh, definitely. I'm going to need to put my stitch marker on because I don't want everything to come undone. So, I think we're going to call that a night. Kofi is a place. There's also another place I did find recently. Oh, I might have heard of Kofi. I'll have to look in to see how much of it, what cut they take, and some. I think I've never sold anything. Well, I mean, did I even buy anything? Um, I don't think I've ever purchased or sold. I know I haven't sold on Etsy. I don't think I've purchased on there before. Even maybe I've bought a pattern a long time ago, but I know a lot of people have issues with it because of how much what cut they take, and then there's some other issues. I don't know all the details, but I'll have to look into that if that's something I'm gonna consider. You can tell I'm tired. I'm leaning back. I will be on. Let me find my calendar. I'll be on again Saturday night, and we are doing hairpin lace. We were supposed to do it last weekend. Last weekend there were some issues. I was in a funk, and then the other day, the second day, I overslept. Whatever. We will be doing hairpin lace on Saturday, and then part 2 of hairpin lace again on Tuesday because it's good. I'm going to do it in 2 parts. What time Saturday? 8 p.m. Eastern. It's listed in my schedule here. It'll show the way Twitch does it. It'll do all the time change and whatever for wherever time zone you're in. It'll do the conversion. So it's 8 p.m. Eastern, and then whatever it is wherever else. And hairpin lace again. I'm just going to show real quick what a hairpin lace loom looks like. That's a hairpin lace loom. It's basically 2 metal rods and then pieces of plastic at either end that are removable, and I'll show how to use this. And it's a way of you wrap the yarn around it a certain way and do a stitch, and it makes it's a multi-step process. So we're gonna look into that on Saturday. Again, check out the YouTube channel, which just popped up here in the chat. It's also in the About section, and my Discord. I have to change that link. I gotta find a link that does not expire. And while I'm at it, anybody here who does not have it, I will copy the link and paste it again. That right there is the real link that will take you. The other one that will pop up it's expired. I'll have to look into all of that good stuff. I don't think we're gonna raid anybody tonight. Everybody have a good evening, and mine went blank. Anyway, everybody have a good evening and happy crafting. Bye.